Hey, and welcome to another installment of Catching Up. I'm Sam.
I'm Chris.
I'm Jake.
I'm Josh.
And we're back, and that delightful pitter-patter that you hear behind us is the main musical theme of Super Mario RPG, Legend of the Seven Stars, developed by Squaresoft, who would, of course, go on to develop Final Fantasy VII immediately thereafter. But, it's their one major... Well, no, they also did Chrono Trigger, but it's their big Mario game.
But no one really cares about Chrono Trigger.
Yeah, Chrono
right?
Trigger isn't like one of the greatest games ever made. Fuck that. But it's the 30th anniversary. At the time we're recording this, I mean, I guess, and into this week, it's the 30th anniversary of the creation of the flagship Nintendo character Mario. Though Donkey Kong technically came first.
Ooh. Mario was in a Donkey Kong game.
Yeah, he's known as Jumpman. He's officially christened as Mario in 1985's Super Mario Brothers.
When he went through his christening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's Mario, right? That's his name.
Yeah.
If the movie's canon.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which it is.
Yep.
Any
we suffered through it.
Stop listening to this right now.
And they're, but at least they downloaded it.
Why didn't we get any downloads after this episode?
Yeah. But do you guys have any Mario memories? Any favorite Mario games?
I'll get mine out of the way first because I think I am the least qualified to talk about Mario out of the four of us. I do remember seeing Mario 64 for the first time. My friend Ian's house. He had a Nintendo 64 like right when it was first coming out, and he had Mario 64, which I feel was like the game to have. Although funny enough, I never owned Mario 64. But yeah, I remember seeing the graphics, like the open world, all the different stories, like how long the game was. Although I've seen Sam beat it fairly quickly, and just the different worlds you can go to and how massive it was really cool. But I remember like late night college nights. My roommate Foley had the Nintendo Wii, so we had a bunch of the Mario games on it.
I'm sure you played like Mario Kart and stuff.
I played Mario Kart too. Yeah, I never used Mario though. I always used Bowser because fuck everybody else.
Sorry, I was always Toad.
Toad was cool, but Bowser I liked because, like, look, I knew I was never going to win in Mario Kart. So I was Bowser just to, like, be, I don't know, the muscle, I guess. And I was already slow enough, so it didn't matter.
That's like my strategy when playing Risk against Sam.
Yeah.
I'm not going to win, so I'm just going to wreak as much havoc as possible.
And Mario Party's fun.
Card.
Party's fun, too. Mario Party is fun, too. But
who do you pick on Mario Party?
Peach.
Okay.
And then
she's there to party.
Yeah. And then but really the long lasting like memory and legacy I have of Mario is Mario 64, seeing that game for the first time. And I've seen it fairly recently like over at our buddy John's place, and just seeing it, it's been years before that since I'd seen it, but it's fun, and Mario's cool. I mean, anytime people usually the bunch of us get together, it's always like Mario Party or Mario Kart, so it's always a good time.
To be fair, you actually have a lot more to say about Mario than I do. Because,
shit.
Yeah, well, the only time that I was really a Nintendo person was just the original NES.
Mm-hmm.
And I had, Mario Brothers 2 and Duck Hunt, the combo game. Mm-hmm. And I used to play the shit out of that. But beyond that, like, my sister had a 64, and we would do Mario Party and Mario Kart and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But, like, for me, whenever I think Mario, I think back to the old 8-bit, and just.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm figuring out now. Like, Mario's one of those characters that like somebody else is always introducing me to Mario. That's not something I would usually like kind of discover on my own. Like my buddy Ian back in the day, or my roommate at Roanoke was a big Nintendo guy. Like, he had Super Mario Galaxy, I think it was.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
and it just was like that was such a cool, fun looking game. And then Sam as well, like all the retro stuff. What was that one thing when it's almost a year ago it happened, when I came back from Baltimore and I opened and you were like playing Mario, and I forgot what you said. You were like, I am the king, motherfucker, for all,
because I'd been playing.
I remember hearing about this.
Yeah, I had started Super Mario World, which is the first video game, not just Mario game, but just the first video game I ever owned on the Super Nintendo. And I hadn't played it in a long time, months if not years, and I was already like at Bowser's Castle, and I was just like, oh, that's right, I'm fucking awesome, I'm the king shit motherfucker.
That's what it was. I opened the door, we didn't even say anything. We weren't like, hey, what's up, how's Baltimore, blah blah blah. I just hear, I'm the king shit motherfucker.
Yeah, that game.
That sounds like Sam.
Yeah, that's my
And
jam.
the funny thing is, I don't even know if he knew I walked in the room. I think he just would say he just says that on his own.
Yeah, it psychs myself up. Josh, do you have any big? Because you big video game guy. You went to Mag Classic this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, didn't really do much because I was just there visiting for a friend for a short bit. Didn't have a pass for the event.
Oh, so you couldn't get inside?
Well, no, I could get inside. I just couldn't go into any of the rooms.
Right. So, yeah, do you have any big Mario memories or a favorite Mario game?
Well, when I eventually did get the Nintendo Entertainment System, the first games I ever had for it was the trilogy pack of Duck Hunt, Track and Field, and Super Mario Brothers that came with it. And that was the first one I ever played. I played Super Mario World for the Super Nintendo, Mario 64, which I absolutely hated.
Was it the camera?
Not just the camera, but
That's the big common complaint I've always heard.
just the gameplay aspects behind it. I just couldn't really get the hang of it.
Did you feel like you were running on, like, ice?
No, I just couldn't time jump right or, things like that for it.
Yeah.
And
So you would have hated Super Mario Sunshine, because that was very, like, you had to be on the money with the jumps on that
yeah,
one.
basically once Mario entered the 3D space, I dropped those games.
Have you played any of
scrollers are nothing.
Have you played any of the more recent side scrollers, like New Super Mario Bros?
No, I've really left Nintendo behind. The last Nintendo product I ever owned was probably Game Boy Color, maybe?
You didn't do the GameCube? You just went straight for Xbox?
Yeah, well, I got an Xbox in the 360 era, like when the Elite came out. That was the first video game console I'd owned ever since, like, the N64 and the GameCube, or the Game Boy Color.
Right. So you kind of just missed on that generation.
Yeah, but I didn't feel like I was actually really missing much.
Yeah, you have a spoken fondness for Mario is Missing.
Yes. When it comes to the Mario Brothers, Luigi is my favorite.
The perennial...
Luigi Mario.
Yeah.
Yes, Luigi Mario.
Perennial second banana.
Yeah, and speaking of
John Leguizamo.
Luigi Mario, I also mentioned a while back in one of the other episodes that I had a birthday party when the Mario movie came out that no
Famously.
one came to.
Yeah.
But it was, for the time, one of my favorite movies ever.
Oh, John, my buddy John, who Jake mentioned earlier, that's unironically one of his favorite films.
Yeah, he and I, when I met him, one of the things that we bonded over was our mutual fondness for that movie.
Which, Chris, you came over to my apartment a few weeks ago, and I had purchased for Murph Tracks the audio sync with the track of Super Mario Brothers the movie, and we watched that.
We watched that while I helped you set up your the TV tray,
right?
TV stand.
Yeah.
Still working? Hasn't collapsed in on itself yet?
No, not yet.
Good. Then all those skipped screws.
Yeah,
mean
Chris is the guy. I had no idea what I was doing.
I'm still waiting for the singularity though to just consume it.
Oh man, well, just out of left field. There's no insurance for that. But
sadly,
that's
no.
force majeure right there.
Yeah. The just like the film Force Majeure, which I thought should have gotten Best Foreign Film, but I guess we aren't doing that, are we, Academy? But I
mean, all foreign films suck.
Oh, ooh. Hit me where I live. Not really, because they're foreign. But
you're domestic.
Yeah. In terms of Mario, yeah. I mean, like I mentioned with Jay earlier, like my first video game is Super Mario World. So it's really Mario that really. I mean, I had been playing video games before Super. A friend on my street had the NES, and so of course I played the main Mario trilogy. 1, 2, and 3. And Chris reminded me of the. It was a theory, but now it's confirmed. I think by one of the developers that. Super Mario Brothers 3 is just a play.
Yep. Yeah, I didn't read any of the articles, but a couple days ago, maybe as much as a week ago, my Facebook feed was a flurry of people posting an article where one of the members of the creative team or something confirmed the fan theory that all Mario 3 was just a play. So every terrible thing that happens to your Mario sprite is all made up.
Because every level ends with you running back behind the curtain.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, cool.
And it even starts with the curtains opening.
Oh, yeah. And then something similar happens in 2, but when you beat 2, you find out it's all just a dream.
Mm-hmm.
Just like Biggie Smalls.
It was all a dream.
I'm
glad you went there, too.
Yeah.
Because even before you said Biggie Smalls, I was like, I'ma sing.
Yeah. I mean, Super Mario RPG is one of the greats. It's one of the first big Mario games that one is developed by a second party developer, and two isn't a side-scrolling platformer. Obviously, Super Mario 64 was a huge. Like, I remember just being like, "This is what everything needs to be like this now. Zelda needs to be like this now," and it did, and it was awesome. Like, Metroid needs to be like this now, and it was first person, which was even better. And like, Donkey Kong needs to be like this, and the Donkey Kong 64 came out and kind of sucked. I was like, maybe Donkey Kong can go back to being a side scroller, and it did.
Not everything needs to be like this.
Yeah. Star Fox was cool, but Star Fox was always 3D. But
Perfect Dark,
even better than GoldenEye.
Mm-hmm.
Cut it and print it. Because they took the GoldenEye.
It's GoldenEye 2.
Yeah, they took the engine and they perfected it. They even have some of the same levels and weapons.
They even called it perfect.
Got a perfect score on GamePro magazine. I remember that because it's one of the few games that did that. That and the first Metal Gear Solid. Super Mario Sunshine was okay. Like most stuff on the GameCube, it was not as good as it should have been.
Much like the GameCube in general.
Oh, yeah. GameCube is the Nintendo 64 was the first Nintendo console not to be the number one seller of its generation, and the only thing the GameCube was ahead of was the Dreamcast,
which was like the worst system ever.
It's what
except
killed,
for Crazy Taxi.
It killed. Well, it had. I like Power Stone, and I like Shenmue.
I mean, the Dreamcast had a lot of innovations behind it that just weren't appreciated for the time.
First console with 56K online play.
Yep.
And it had Jet Set Radio.
And the wire came out of the wrong end of the controller.
Yeah.
For its own specific reasons. I'm aware that they did that intentionally, but it still just looked dumb.
And it was the original console.
That's actually my big argument.
That's your big argument against Dreamcast?
That's the thing that I hate about Dreamcast.
Dreamcast also had Resident Evil Code Veronica, which is like the last classic Resident Evil game. Then they start to get more actiony, and it starts out cool. Like Resident Evil 4 is cool, and then Resident Evil 5 is all right, and then Resident Evil 6 sucks.
Yeah.
Did you play the more recent? Because didn't they reboot it, or are they developing that?
Oh no. Capcom has been on a really weird tangent of where they basically, as a developer, have been like, okay, guys, we're fresh out of ideas. Let's just go to the fans. And every single fan has been like, remake everything. And so basically...
Not this one.
It's funny how video game fans are more,
accepting of remakes?
Not only accepting, but demanding.
Well, demanding, yes. Accepting, it's much the same thing of like Hollywood, where it's like, remake after remake, and all the fans of films are just like, God damn it, give us something new.
I wanted the Devil May Cry remake
and then
to
they
be good,
get Tusk
but it
and they
wasn't.
hate Tusk.
Well, the Devil May Cry remake of what, like the originals, or like the most recent one that came out?
I mean DMC. I don't mean like the HD remake
yeah,
of 4.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, everyone had wanted DMC to be good, and well, shit. Yeah. That's kind of like Hollywood remaking something and it turning out to be absolute shit.
Like the Fantastic Four?
Yes.
Yeah.
But no, back to what you were saying about Resident Evil. They've just basically been taking, like, they did Resident Evil 1. They took the GameCube remake of it, where they basically spruced up all the graphics and everything.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Fixed the engine, fixed the camera, thank God. Fixed the controls, also thank God. And
everyone loves thinks they love the original Resident Evil on the PlayStation, but they forget that you're basically controlling a human tank.
Yeah, which they did give the option of the sadomasochist to turn on tank controls and that god-awful camera from that. But they basically took that and then spruced it up even further for the past gen and current generation consoles. They just are finishing up Resident Evil 0. And the next project they've announced they're doing is the very first one I ever played, Resident Evil 2.
Oh, yeah.
And that one's going to be getting a completely new facelift, because I believe that one never did get a GameCube version of it.
Yeah, well, 0 was originally a GameCube game.
Right, so they're just going to tidy that one up for the
I always felt
past
that
and
one
current
got.
gens.
I always felt that got overlooked, probably because it was on the GameCube.
Well,
and it had that unconventional like 2-person.
Yeah,
style.
that, and also because you played as Rebecca Chambers and Billy
Zane. Which one's better? Who would
I
you
think-
rather have in your zombie squad, Billy Joel or Billy Zane?
I think it's
Billy Joel, he'd sing me to sleep at night.
Billy
Make the world a
Mays.
better place.
He already looks like a zombie.
yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I think it's Billy Cohen. I think is
healthy
his last
zombie.
name.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically
Both men are bald.
we're getting that one at like the end of the year, sometime early next year, and then Resident Evil 2 is the next one.
That's good. Yeah, 2 is awesome. 3 is
Oh,
good,
yeah.
cool too with Nemesis.
I don't know. I didn't like that one as much because you were constantly being chased down by something you couldn't exactly get away from.
I don't know, I feel like Mila Jovovich did a good job in that one.
Oh yeah, no, the movie was great. The movie was the closest to any of the video games.
Yeah, Annihilation's probably the best Resident Evil film.
I'm actually a big fan of that film series.
Yeah.
I mean, Paul W.S. Anderson is my favorite Anderson.
Is it the 3D?
Yeah, he does a really good job with 3D. Believe it or not.
Yeah. I believe it.
Believe it or not, it's just him.
Believe it or not, it's 3D.
There was rumors that he was going to be doing this, giving the same treatment to Castlevania, but then Konami was like, "Let's just do a web series instead."
Yeah. God damn it, Konami. Just do something right.
Well, speaking of like video game reboots that suck, Lords of Shadow 2, Lords of Shadow 1's okay. Lords of Shadow 2 and Lords of Shadow, like whatever Mirror of Fate, more like Mirror of My Asshole.
Yeah, I heard less than favorable things about that.
Yeah. Mirror of My Asshole. Anyway. But yeah.
It's not the weirdest thing I've heard you say.
No, but it's up there. Paper Mario is another good Mario game that I'm thinking about it. But
Mario Tennis?
Mario Tennis is fucking
That's a fucking great game.
tits.
I just remembered that all of a sudden.
Yeah.
I think
of
it was
course,
the asshole comment that helped me remember.
yeah, of course, Super Mario Kart and Mario Kart 64 and Mario Kart 8, all phenomenal. I think my favorite Mario game of all, though, is probably the first Mario Galaxy. It's just like, I don't know how much of it you saw with like Foley and all that, but for me, like that was just the most imaginative, most beautiful, and just straight up most fun Mario.
It was one of those. I think that was what he was really holding out for with the Wii at the time, like because that was coming out. And I think once he kind of played it and beat it, he was like, okay, he traded everything in, got an Xbox 360, and kind of never looked back. I know he's still I think he's still a Nintendo kid, but
He's still just that was like he was like, I know they're gonna put out a top-notch Mario game.
yeah, I'm serious. I mean that and like the Zelda game at the time. But yeah, I remember I would come back from class and it was just
Well, there's 2 good Zelda games on the Wii.
oh okay. I mean I just knew one, but I just saw one, but. Yeah, he was just like running on planets, and it was just this like really, all the Mario games are super imaginative. It's a fucking plumber, but it's like some of the most imaginative shit ever,
He's in space.
Yeah,
And in Super Mario Galaxy 2, his spaceship is his head.
Just like Zardos.
But yeah, I mean it looked great. Yeah, I mean all that and like what's the 2 Zelda games that came out on Wii?
Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword.
All right, so Twilight Princess is the one that he had, and that game was like incredible looking. And I don't, for the longest time until I met Foley, I thought Zelda was the name of the fucking dude. You know what I mean? Like that was my knowledge of that shit. But I still don't understand why it's called Zelda. But
Yeah, you can only be her in the CDI games.
yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me. But
and Hyrule Warriors.
yeah, but
Were you more of a Sega Genesis guy?
no, I mean
Chris was more of
the
a
first
Genesis.
the first console I ever owned was N64. We weren't allowed to have like video game consoles in my house when I was a kid. The first like thing I ever had was a Game Gear, which still works. I played Judge Dredd on it recently. It's fucking awesome.
Nice.
I bought that off eBay for like 50 cents. I think the shipping was more, but
Damn, that's a steal.
That's like me and my HD DVDs.
yeah. No, but I mean like those games are fun. Like I remember like Madden 95. Like that's like back in the day, where it's just little dots.
NFL Blitz on the Nintendo 64.
Oh yeah, fantastic. But yeah,
What was the black cartridge wrestling game on the 64?
I don't know about the black
Was that
cartridge.
NWO Revenge?
No, because WCW NWO Revenge is, in my opinion, the greatest wrestling game of all time. It was like that's the best, man. I love that game so much.
If I remember correctly, Kumail Nanjiani agrees with you.
Oh really?
Yeah.
That's the
Shout out.
yeah. That's
Well, his podcast, The Indoor Kids. Josh turned me on to it. They have like an entire episode that's just dedicated to wrestling video games, and it's him and his wife Emily Gordon, and then one of their friends who's like just an encyclopedia of wrestling, just going like from the beginning of like home entertainment systems, talking about like pretty much every single wrestling game that ever came out, and like it's an hour-long episode, and they only get to like the mid-90s.
in that WCW NWO Revenge. I remember it was like one of the first video games I bought with like my own money, like lawn mowing money, like all this other stuff. And
SmackDown was good on the 64.
I mean, they did a Nitro game, which is terrible.
Well, Nitro was terrible.
Nitro's better. No, Nitro was better than
I know.
was it Thunder? What was the Thursday night one?
Yeah, Thursday Night Thunder.
Thursday Night Thunder, was that what it was? Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the weaker
was
one.
the
Nitro
worst.
was cool,
Yeah.
but the game sucked.
Nitro beat out Raw for a very long time.
It did, yeah. WCW NW Revenge though had like the greatest opening where there's like just like heavy metal's like man, like
It's kind of like industrial new metal.
yeah, man. And then all of a sudden there's a guy driving a truck and he stops and lightning strikes and the lightning bolt has Sting arrive and he's just standing there breathing going and the guy is in the car, at least the metal, like, man, and he goes, what? And he's like shaking, looks like he's laughing. My brother and I always do that when, like, if it's been a while since we've seen each other, we go, what? Ah! We'd have to pull it up later. It's the best opening ever.
Maybe we'll close the
And
episode.
they're just,
Fun fact: Sting is wrestling again on WWE.
I know, that's
he's
crazy.
now a WWE property.
never thought that would happen.
He
in a million
wrestled.
years.
He wrestled at this year's WrestleMania against Triple H,
Uh-huh.
and they got the original like 3 or the original 4, NWO guys, and then they got like the original D-Generation X guys to back up Triple H, and it was a great match. Now they're like setting up this thing for him versus Seth Rollins in I think about a week after this episode airs. Will be Night of Champions, and that's going to be big night where Sting is challenging Seth Rollins for heavyweight championship.
My knowledge of wrestling is like the WCW era, when like Nitro was king kind of thing.
The Monday Night War.
Yeah, and when I would go back to that, Sting is like the Tom Hanks of wrestling. Like everybody fucking loves Sting.
Yeah.
And like it's so cool to see Sting back. Like I said, and I think we've talked about it in the past. Like I never in a million years thought Sting would be WWE because like that guy
No one
was
did.
so loyal to the WCW. Like everybody left when WCW was crumbling. That dude went to like TNA. Like was like no, never doing WWE. He was probably offered a bunch of contracts.
His big thing was that he would he like swore that he would never work for Vince McMahon. But like now Vince McMahon is really just the owner of the
Figurehead
company.
almost,
Yeah,
yeah.
like he like probably still is like the last like gatekeeper of like what happens, but like really it's a board of directors that that runs it now, and Triple H and Stephanie McMahon are on that board, and
He's like Rupert Murdoch.
yeah,
He doesn't actually do the day-to-day stuff.
he owns National Geographic.
Yeah. Shout out to Zach.
Yeah, hey Zach, here's your shout out for
Hey,
this episode.
yeah, your new boss is a
It's-
sleaze.
Stay in school.
Yeah, but would you say your favorite like main Nintendo game then? Would you say is it Pokemon? Is it Star Fox 64?
For the N64.
Or just period? But
Well, I mean, N64 is my knowledge in Nintendo, but
That's your Monday Nitro.
that's my Monday Nitro. I mean, the game. I mean, seriously, WCW NWO was like the game I played the most. Like, I still have the cartridge somewhere.
but I mean like published by Nintendo.
Oh, I have no idea.
So like basically think characters in Smash Brothers,
oh,
and then be like Donkey Kong. Or
what about Bomberman?
I wish Bomberman.
No, I mean,
was
like,
in
would
it.
that count? Like Bomberman?
Nah, because he's Namco.
Oh, I don't know. Shit.
I think he's Namco.
That sounds right.
Yeah,
Star Fox, then I guess.
Star Fox
Yeah.
64. All
Yeah, I
about
played a
that.
lot of that. And, like when we had
Actually,
little shitty,
Star Fox 64 was really good.
we had
Yeah.
shitty band practice back in the day. Our break would be we'd beat Mario or we beat Star Fox, and then we go back to band practice. But that was it. I think we got better. It's funny, we got better at Star Fox and probably worse as a band.
Can't let you do that, Star Fox.
Yeah. Do a barrel roll.
Fucking hate that.
I always shot Peppy. I always got rid of. Was he the goat or the? What the
He's
fuck
a
was he?
rabbit.
A rabbit.
Yeah.
I got rid of him first. Fuck
Father
him.
helped me like that too.
Yeah, you should have retired with my dad. Get the fuck out of
Yeah.
here.
What was the cocky little freaks? Game?
Cocky little freaks. If you'd shoot him mid sentence, he would keep going over you. So if you shot him like rapidly, he'd be, cocky little freaks. So
Oh dear
And that's
God.
how-
Pokemon Snap is really fun.
That's what re-triggered my Pokemon love.
Yeah,
With the cartridge of the Game Boy game that you could pop in. That
Well-
was Snap, right? Or was that... No, that was Stadium?
That was Stadium.
Yeah. I liked Stadium.
Stadium was pretty cool too.
Oh yeah, I mean, that wasn't when I was
They
as
even
into.
had a level on Super Smash Brothers.
Mm-hmm. Every Super Smash Brothers got like a Pokemon Stadium inspired, except for the first one. That one's just got like red blue inspired stuff. But the no, Pokemon was always my fucking jam, and they just announced Pokemon Go, made by the guys that did Ingress, so you can go around, just walk around and presumably catch Pokemon.
You know what's funny? I remember hearing about that before hearing anything about Pokemon Shuffle. So when you got Pokemon Shuffle, I thought that's what you were doing, and I was like, "Oh, that sounds so cool that you can like catch." Like I thought it was like an augmented reality thing where you like turn your camera on and like, "Oh, hey, look on that street corner, there's a Pokemon," you know. And,
oh, look, it's a Squirtle. Yeah.
hey, Pikachu's trying to get in that cab.
It's like that'd be awkward though. Like if like for all the people that don't know what the person awkwardly staring at their phone, like looking off into nothing is doing.
I feel like just augmented reality apps in general.
Sam,
are like,
I'm still expecting to see that.
Oh,
I wouldn't put it past them to try that at some point.
yeah. If it's anything like Ingress,
I mean, 3DS.
Yeah,
can
no,
do that.
I mean that is exactly what I'm expecting the game to be like.
yeah. Just everyone being like, "Oh, this is where you can catch Vileplume," and like everyone just flocks there and just looks around at nothing with their phones.
And
Like,
Wouldn't it be great if it could tell that there was tall grass? So like that's where they would hide.
And then they've got that little wrist strap on, and they're just randomly just flinging their arm around nonstop, and it's like, what the fuck are these people doing?
To be fair, I do that anyway.
yeah, I'm all fucking in. You know, I've got 19 Amiibo, and I don't even have a fucking Wii U. I just yeah, it's coming. It's coming. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. But the you know, I'm all in on the Pokemon stuff. I'm still like a strict 151 guy. But you know what?
As am I.
If you throw in like a Kyogre, the flying blue water whale, I won't say no. If you throw in,
I wouldn't kick that out of bed.
yeah, I'd be like, okay, all right, I'll add you to my little collection. But yeah, it's been awesome. Now, so you kind of went to MagCloud. Do you go to MagFest every year?
Not every year. I have been twice to MagFest, and once to what is now Mag Classic. Last year, MagFest 8.5.
Is it a good scene, generally speaking?
Which one?
Either, just yeah, or how compare and contrast.
Well, MagFest, the big, huge blowout event, takes place at the Gaylord every year in February. I really wish.
I tried, and I know, and I've been there. Like this is like it's not like new. It's not a new thing. Like I did not know you were gonna say that, but like I tried. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What's funny is I like kind of chuckled to myself. And I was like,
I should have backed
and
away
then
from the
like I
microphone.
looked over at Jake, and he's just got this giant shit-eating grin, and just like he's a fucking sand person from Star Wars.
He's lifting his gaffy stick above his head.
Guys, I love birds.
But yeah, no, I enjoy MagFest because it's a very local kind of like Comic-Con event for people that love video games.
Yeah, free arcades.
Yeah, so you have a good amount of cosplaying, a good amount of geeky nerdy people getting smashed in their hotel room and on the show floor.
Yeah, if you want to get drunk with all the Screw Attack G1s and stuff.
Yeah, the Destructoid crew, if they still manage to come around to it.
Yeah, I think Chris might, the new editor-in-chief. I don't know. I mean, Sterling is off doing his own thing now.
Yeah, Dale North is too, unfortunately.
Yeah. But it's always a good time out in National Harbor.
Yeah.
And again, you've got my.
They have the Awakening statue.
They do. But the
And then
That's where my brother-in-law proposed to my sister.
Oh, nice. And then Mag Classic is a much smaller, intimate version of MagFest. As they put it, it's them taking the event back to what it originally started out as. So it's basically just a smaller version of regular MagFest.
It's like a New York Special Edition. It's a thing that New York Comic Con does in like June, where it's basically just Artist Alley, not the exhibit floor that you get with a big Comic Con.
Yeah.
Is that still at the Gaylord? Is it a different location?
No, it's at one of the hotels they had MagFest originally, the Hilton Mark Center in Alexandria.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so you don't even have to go into Maryland.
Nope.
Good.
Yeah.
Take that, Maryland.
right. Virginia's for lovers, bitch. The you've been hooked on. Both of you guys have been watching a lot of Netflix lately. You've been hooked on a new show.
I have a show called Narcos. It was which is the based on the true story of Pablo Escobar and trying to track his ass down and get rid of him. Which they did. Spoilers for all you non-people
God damn
who
it.
knew about who didn't know about
you're
history.
going to tell me that Aquarius ends with them catching Charles Manson.
And well, I don't know about that. I don't. Even
Does
know
the
what you're talking
Untouchables
about.
end with Al Capone?
But
Does the Passion of the Christ?
and yeah, but it's a great show. I mean, I'm fascinated by the war on drugs. And the guy who plays Pablo Escobar is astounding. I didn't know this till recently because I've only watched the first season of Game of Thrones, but Oberyn, is that his name?
Pedro Pascal?
Yeah, he plays my favorite character, Javier Pena, who's his DE agent who doesn't give a fuck.
Has he had his skull crushed yet?
No.
So
Hopefully
he avoids
not.
that in 2 shows.
Yeah, hopefully not. He's my favorite character. But it's a really fascinating show about like how scary easily it was for them to transport drugs in the United States. How absolutely in like Colombia, how just standing up to do the right thing was almost an automatic death sentence because the people in power weren't the good guys, and the people who tried to stand up to do the right thing were killed just because they were trying to do the right thing. And there's so many moments. I was just flipping through my phone, checking real quick some stuff, and there's a guy screenshotted my favorite fucking line, like probably one of my favorite lines in the whole series. They talk about, I think it was Pablo Escobar's favorite thing was, it's either you can have silver or lead, which was his thing, I think, which is basically take my bribe or I'm going to kill you. And there's a scene later on where my favorite character, Javier Pena, they're in a helicopter and they're tracking down one of the drug lords, and he's firing his gun at the helicopter and he's out of bullets. He's going, come on, assholes, come on, assholes. And one of the guys from the search block calls in, or he calls, Javier Pena calls into the search block commander, and he's like, yo, he's out of bullets. We could take him alive if you want. And the colonel calls back to Pena and goes, it's up to you. And Pena looks at the guy operating the machine gun and he goes, give him lead. And they just fucking light his ass up. And it was like, I was watching and I was like, fuck yes. I was like just freaking out. But there's so many moments about like the good guys getting like their moment, and like how intense it was to be in like Colombia around that time, and like how it was like the Wild West for a period, and just what these men went through to try to, like I said, stepping up to do the right thing, even though they knew it was only a matter of time until they were probably killed.
The way you're making it sound, it's almost kind of like the Untouchables by way of Clear and Present Danger.
Yeah, I mean, I remember Mike Portnoy from Dream Theater fame and the Winery Dogs fame, he had watched it and was like, it's like Breaking Bad meets Traffic, meets The Godfather. It's cool because it's two sides of a story, It's narrated by the DEA agent. Again, these are all based off of real people. Some of them are composites of people. Some of them are inspired by people, but most of them are inspired off or based on real people. And so you get the kind of the DEA, CIA side, and then you get the kind of the narcos, the drug side. And it's a phenomenal show. It's only 10 episodes so far. I mean, it's already been picked up for a second season. It was only a matter of days, because it's getting pretty high praise. But yeah, it was one of those ones that for some reason I kept putting off. I don't know why. And then I think I saw a trailer for, it was like I was watching something on YouTube and they showed a trailer and it was the famous Nancy Reagan Just Say No. And it was like a 45-second clip of she was like, just say no, no. And it just kept saying, kind of no, no, over and over again of just scenes of like carnage, good guys, bad guys, drugs, blah, blah, blah. And then the last thing is you see a guy go, no, no, no. And Pablo kills him. And I was like, all right, I got to check this out. And I finished watching all of Iron Chef on Netflix. And I was like, okay, what do I do next? And Netflix kept going, fucking watch Narcos. We have that you should watch this. And I was like, okay. And yeah, there's a scene within the first 20 minutes of the first episode that involving Pablo Escobar. That's just, it's astounding. For me, like I said, the whole thing's fascinating. If you're a fan of any of the movies we've named, Traffic, Clear and Present Danger, Untouchables, anything, because it is very much about trying to find Another great line is, this guy's like, what do I need? What do you need then to win? And he goes like, give me incorruptible men, and just building the search block and the guys who eventually I think take down Pablo, and it's really fascinating. All the performances are really top notch, and it's worth checking out. Like I said, it's 10 episodes. There is going to be a season 2, and they got a lot of story to tell, and they're doing it really well. So high praise, and definitely check it out.
And Josh, you're watching another Netflix exclusive, the latest season of Longmire.
Yes, just recently, thank God, got saved by some form of network and or streaming
I
media.
love the killing.
The latest season 4, picks up it right after season 3 ended on, I want to say, A&E, I think is what it was on. Yeah, thank you, Sam. And it's exactly like the past seasons have been. They haven't changed up the formula. They haven't added anything. They haven't taken anything away.
They can cuss now, though, right? They don't actually cuss.
They could if they wanted to.
Well, no, because before it was on a paid cable network anyhow, so they...
A&E isn't paid cable. It's not premium, not like HBO.
No, it's just cable, so they can be a little bit more risque than network.
Okay, yeah. Well,
after 10, they can...
They can say shit. And I think they're allowed one fuck.
Yeah, like I haven't noticed... Like, I haven't heard any bleeping. As far as language goes, I haven't noticed anything that makes me think, wow, this feels like I'm watching something on HBO.
Same thing happened when Community got picked up by Yahoo. It wasn't until like the last episode that they really pushed the boundaries of what they could do since they were online.
Well, and the Netflix exclusive season of The Killing, they're like, oh, we can say fuck now?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we're going to say fuck all the fucking time.
Yeah.
Holder is going to drop the F-bomb more than once.
Too bad Clone Wars didn't do the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, well, and again, yeah, much similar with like Clone Wars, Longmire comes from a very specific source material. It comes from a series of books, and as far as the show has been continuing, it follows a very specific formula. So I don't feel like, one of the episodes it's just going to be like fuck every single third sentence.
Every third sentence.
Shame.
Yeah, damn shame.
But, it finds a nice balance between a Western and a cop show and, like, a detective series like Sherlock.
Like our perennial geek out favorite, Justified?
Ah.
Oh, you mean my favorite TV show ever?
No, it's less justified than Justified.
Okay. That's a
not
show.
as justifiable.
Longmire is a
Yes.
show that...
I'll be leaving.
Longmire's a show that people have been telling me to check out for a while now, and I feel like I'd probably enjoy. Maybe I'll start that after after Narcos.
A few seasons, it's got RoboCop in it.
Oh, Peter Weller, right?
Yes.
I think he directs a bunch of episodes too.
Yeah,
right?
the latest
Oddly enough, The Killing has RoboCop in it.
That's true. Yeah, he doesn't direct
the
it, no.
latest episode I just finished was directed by him.
Nice. Yeah, he's become like a big time, real deal TV director.
Oh, he's great
A lot
in
of
the
Sons of
series
Anarchy.
too.
That's right. Yeah, he did a lot of Sons. I think he was on it too, right?
He was on it, and I think Peter Weller directed a lot of Sons.
Yeah.
Especially in the latter
What's
seasons.
what's the basic? Like, I have an idea, but what's like the basic plot of Longmire?
Widowed sheriff. Up until this current season, back burner trying to solve the murder of his wife, and then at the same time solving either a continuous thread throughout the series and then crimes along the way each episode.
Okay. Yeah, that's again, for some reason I've been putting that show off.
Yeah,
I feel like I dig it.
It's got Lou Diamond Phillips, Katie Sackhoff, Cassidy Freeman from Smallville fame.
Yeah.
She plays his daughter. Katie Sackhoff plays one of the deputies, and Lou Diamond Phillips plays a friend of Walt's that's Native American.
Okay. Yeah, people I've seen like I follow Cassidy Freeman on Twitter, and she's always posting about it. That's funny, yeah. I mean, I don't think I've seen her in anything since Smallville.
Yeah.
She plays a big role later on in that show.
And Peter Weller plays the brother of one of the deputies' father, Branch Connolly.
Yeah. Is he just super crusty and like pissed off all the time?
Yeah, but
like a good Peter Weller should be?
Yeah, but in a lovable old Western cowboy kind of way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's great.
Yeah.
Now, here's a question. Netflix is adding season 1 of Gotham on September 21st.
Uh-huh.
Should I watch Longmire or Narcos instead? Or Gotham?
I mean, Gotham doesn't suck. I like Gotham, but I mean, I've only seen Narcos, so.
Well, when are you planning to watch season 2 of Gotham?
When it comes on Netflix?
Probably. Because there's no way I'm going to watch an entire fucking season of Gotham before the season 2 premiere.
Narcos and then Longmire. Because Longmire you can burn all the way through seasons 1 and now 4, but Narcos only has season 1 available. So I figure get through that first.
Just kind of drill through.
Narcos is a quick one, man.
Like
yeah.
right now, because I'm looking for a show to replace. I just started Rome, the HBO show Rome.
Right.
And that's only 2 seasons. It's only 22 episodes. So I'll be done with that in like the next week or so. And then, I wanted to replace it with something Netflixy.
I mean, if you want something short and quick, Narcos, Longmire, each episode's an hour long, and there's, now with the newest season, they fit it into where they never had to break for commercials anyhow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Is that something that like Netflix it's going to be an ongoing thing with Netflix now, or they're going to do more seasons with Netflix?
Well, now that it's become a Netflix original, and they have the Netflix title opening.
It does, okay. I didn't know if it was going to be like The Killing, where it's like, all right, here's your conclusion season. You know what I mean? Like here's the one that wrap it up.
The Killing did.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Yeah, no,
sorry.
They don't look like they're ending. Yeah, they haven't said,
You son of a bitch.
Clone Wars. That's what I meant.
Yeah, they haven't said, here's season 4. Oh, and by the way, it's the final season.
Okay.
So, I think they're going to be continuing Longmire, which
that
is
would
good.
suck. They're like, hey, we saved your show. By the way, we canceled your show.
Yeah.
That's the power of Netflix.
Save it just to let it die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a choice.
Yeah. Now, Chris, you watched. Goes back a couple weeks, but you about a month now. You saw The Man from U.N.C.L.E.
I did.
What were your, thoughts?
Well, much like what you said, Sam, there just seemed to be something not quite complete about it. The for me, one thing that I really kind of honed in on was that the acting seemed very stiff. Just everyone was very kind of cardboard cutouty.
Almost like walking like a 2.5 hour or a 2 hour long Abercrombie and Fitch commercial.
Yeah, I could see that. I feel like the person who shined the most was Henry Cavill, and at the same time, I feel like he's the one that had the least amount to do.
Interesting, because he is the titular Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Yeah. And also as far as a team up goes, there wasn't a whole lot of teaming up.
Well, and this is something that Josh had asked me immediately after I saw the film. He's like, and now that you've seen it, I can kind of spoil it. And if you, for whatever reason, are like, don't spoil Man from U.N.C.L.E., just skip ahead 30 seconds, maybe a minute. Josh was like, so is the entire movie an origin story? And I was like, yeah. It really is. So if you're looking...
Literally the last line is, your new code name is Uncle.
Yeah, I basically kind of put that together from the way the trailer was cut.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. And it's cool to see Alicia Vikander, in a role where she gets to actually have hair. It's really cool to see Armie Hammer survive the Lone Ranger.
Yeah, I thought that it was nice seeing him again, and now I kind of want to go back and watch Lone Ranger for the first time.
Hell, Jake, you don't even own that movie.
No, that was one if I saw it for $5, maybe, but I don't know. And if it was an hour and a half of being fairly stupid, maybe, but I don't know. It felt like it was long.
Or if it wasn't a Johnny Depp film.
Yeah, that was the thing that always pushed me back. Not even the fact that Johnny Depp was kind of being racist in it, but just the fact that Johnny Depp was in it.
Well, I mean, it felt like
That's what killed me on Mordecai.
Well, all the promotional material for the Lone Ranger,
the fact that he was being racist,
made it sound like it's Tonto as Johnny Depp, as Tonto starring the Lone Ranger.
He's the star of it, but
yeah, which if I wanted that, I wouldn't go see a film called The Lone Ranger.
Yeah, I mean,
he's not exactly lone.
Well, yeah, they call him the Lone Ranger because all the
I
Rangers.
was making it.
Well, I know,
Okay.
I know,
I
but
mean-
I can hear the cry of the one person going, "But why is he really called the Lone Ranger, Jake? Please."
No, I want
Jake,
to.
please tell us.
I want a Lone Ranger movie that's about the Lone Ranger, not.
I mean,
This
it is about the Lone Ranger, but again, they focused it on the fact that like it's
Tonto.
that means Johnny Depp. I mean,
Yeah.
if it was a no name, they probably would have been like, "Hey," well, they probably wouldn't have made it, but like,
Well,
it's-
no, they made the Green Hornet.
yeah. I mean, but
That
that's
was amazing.
shit. I think I like that less than the Lone Ranger.
They're related, you know.
Yeah, I do. But yeah, I don't know. Lone Ranger is
Yeah, like if I wanted something like this from Depp, I would have seen, which I have, all the Pirates of the Caribbean films.
I mean, I really didn't have that big of a problem with him as Tonto. I mean, I prefer Tonto being the kind of like, when you look at Tonto, you're like, don't fuck with Tonto. Like, I like that kind of thing. Like, especially in the Dynamite comics, where like the first time you see him, he's just like, fucking. He's like just like the Hulk. This dude, like, you don't fuck with Tonto.
Yeah.
You know, and he's the guy who teaches the Lone Ranger everything, which he does in this movie to a point. I don't know why they make the Lone Ranger like this like wussy whiny idiot, you know, and then they make
Yeah.
him like a goofball.
Make him like the comic relief in his own movie.
I mean,
Yeah.
that was like the big problem that I had with the Green Hornet as well.
Yeah, they did
That's
that to
cowering
that
in the
too.
back.
That's unforgivable, man.
Like I'm
Yeah.
cool. I'm cool that Kato is like the badass.
Oh, always,
but I
yeah.
would have preferred the Green Hornet to still be like a superhero.
Yeah.
Like at least like Big Trouble in Little China was a better Green Hornet movie than
I can see
the
that.
Green Hornet.
Yeah.
Like-
Jack,
like
Burton,
if he-
Jack Burton is Britt
Yeah,
Reed.
Jack Burton was still a badass in it. He just was comic relief bad. Like
Yeah.
he
was
wasn't-
over enthusiastic.
Yeah, he wasn't a coward. He just didn't actually get anything done.
Though he does take out Lo Pan.
He does. It's all in the reflexes.
Yes. But no, I mean, that was I always thought the Green Hornet should be kind of imposing, like Kato kick the shit out of them, and
Like-
he sits there and like punches the last dude.
Like
It's
the 60s TV show.
yeah, like Van Williams, sure, absolutely.
Yeah, I felt like when they tried to bring back the pulp heroes, they kind of thought, hey, let's not take them too seriously, because no one wants a serious pulp hero
Well,
anymore, right, guys?
Remember all the rumors of when Warner Brothers was first thinking about doing a Green Lantern film? They were originally going to make it a Jack Black comedy, and all the internet backlash. They were like, "Oh fuck, maybe let's not. Let's just make it a Ryan Reynolds movie instead." And it did
Was that
about
when
as
Kevin
good.
Smith was.
No, he was with.
Oh wait, no. I'm sorry. You said Green Lantern. I in my head it was still Green Hornet.
the Green Hornet
'Cause I
Kevin
know
Smith
Kevin
story
Smith did Green Hornet.
is actually it's actually pretty cool. But I don't know. I think with a lot of the pulp heroes, it's unfortunate because they have a fan base, obviously, because someone's reading them besides
Yeah,
me,
but-
But like the thing is, I think they feel very secure with being like, we can kind of do whatever we want with them because they're not Batman, they're not Superman. I don't think it's right, but like they're like, who the fuck cares? Like it's obvious they think that because they've done it multiple times.
Yeah, but Batman in his own right could be a pulp hero.
Oh,
Yeah.
Batman! I would argue Batman.
Well, no, he used to be. He's not a pulp hero anymore.
Yeah.
He used to be,
He
sure.
is the Knight.
What killed Batman from being a pulp hero? The
The
Bronze Age?
50s,
Frank Miller. Oh no.
sci-fi.
Oh yeah, sci-fi.
Like,
with
the
Batman
TV
and
show.
Sarah
If the
Connor.
Shadow dropped his guns, he'd fucking be Batman to a degree.
I mean, the closest thing they have similar is they hide in the shadows and the Playboy thing. But other than that,
Lamont Cranston was an inspiration.
yeah.
for
The thing about Lamont Cranston is like he wants to fucking kill you and get you out of the way.
and laugh while doing
Yeah,
it.
Batman's thing is I'll put you in jail and the shadows is no, you don't breathe anymore.
We're up until a point, Batman did kill.
Yeah,
Comic book
I
code.
mean,
Yeah.
And even as you guys would like to remind me on occasion in the 89 Tim Burton one, it's like, no, he killed everyone. He pretty much
Well, he
came
kills
across in
everybody
those
in
movies.
the-
in all the movies he kills someone.
yeah,
Except for Forever and Return. Would you argue he kills Two-Face in Forever?
Yes, I would.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing.
Oh, with
He's
the
just-
coins?
Okay, Batman and Robin, he doesn't kill.
Yeah, but nobody gets hurt, really, in Batman and
Wait,
Robin.
Not even the citizens that get frozen to death.
But
Only-
again,
yeah.
the
Yeah.
only
pulp
the people
hero
that Poison Ivy kisses.
the pulp hero that I would say is almost a mirror of Batman is Zorro, not the
yeah,
Shadow.
Zorro too. Yeah.
Chris
because-
Nolan made a big point of that.
Yeah. Well, no.
Or no,
No, he
not-
didn't. No,
not Chris
he
Nolan.
made it a fucking play.
Well, no,
But,
so-
Deflator Mouse.
Yeah.
One of the ones,
Which had bummed me
and one
out.
of the origins, he was seen as Zorro
yeah,
movie.
yeah. He's seeing the
Mask?
Mark of Zorro.
Yeah, Mark of Zorro.
Yeah.
And
Usually
Mask of Zorro
it's
is
the Tyrone Power one. But yeah, again, he doesn't bring the fun into it. Nowadays the Batman is like very serious,
He does
obviously.
bring the thunder though.
Yeah, but the whole idea of Zorro was kind of doing that before anybody else,
Yeah.
and they're doing like a post-apocalyptic Zorro movie, I heard, but which is weird. Again, they think, fuck it, who cares? We can do this with Zorro. You know what I mean? No one's gonna do it, but like the Green Hornet would be a great like 30s period piece with like fucking Tommy guns and like the old fashioned cars and the newspaper's
Kind of
still
like
king
what
and
the Batman animated series did.
yeah, do that with the Green Hornet.
But
But
again,
I'd be in for it.
bringing these pulp characters back, so far they haven't brought them back recently and not made them, not goofballs.
that's what I'm saying. They can get away with that because they don't. They're like, who cares? They're pulp heroes. They're not the fucking marquee superheroes. Let's make them funny and goofy. Oh, they were around in the 30s. Fuck it, let's do it. Like that's their thing, and it's wrong, but that's what they're doing. They did it with Zorro. I mean, they did it with Zorro because he gets divorced in the sequel they did.
Legend of Zorro.
It destroys it, right? And then they did it with Lone Ranger. And they did it with the Green Hornet.
That was there was a Cracked article that I had originally proposed, which because of Cracked, they're very stringent because they're like, look, millions of people are going to see this. Nobody likes this idea. So I had proposed an article months ago about movie sequels that destroy the legacy of the original. And yeah, Legend
Like
of
Ghostbusters 2.
Ghostbusters 2 is on that list. Yeah, because
Damn right.
well, not because
And I'll do it again.
you would argue because of the quality of the film. My argument was they're like treated like they fucking save the Earth.
Well, no, yeah, I am willing.
Yeah.
I know glaringly well. Like, no, the EPA wins and destroys them. Like,
Yeah,
That
Peck
just-
wins.
yeah, that's a horrible way to start.
Yeah,
out
they are
the
legally
sequel.
prohibited from being Ghostbusters. All they can do is like run around in birthday parties, and Dan Aykroyd does this really awkward dance that even Ernie Hudson won't do. And Ernie Hudson will show up to anything, including Psych.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Keith David does a better job.
Okay. I will agree.
Yeah.
I was merely woeing at the tone of voice that you took with the Psych.
Yeah.
Like as if to say being on Psych is the low point of his career.
Billy Zane showed. Val Kilmer was on Psych.
Carrie Elwes was
Carrie
on.
Elwes, Peter Weller.
Yeah.
But
Multiple times.
yeah, it all comes back. But yeah, Legend of Zorro, I think, kind of fucks with is it Mark or Mask? Mask, right?
Mask, yeah.
Yeah.
To
Because
be fair, I haven't seen the Legend because I don't want to, but I've seen the
terrible.
trailer where it's like he gets divorced, and I'm like, I'm not interested, not interested. And the problem is, like I said, if I feel like a pulp series would benefit, or the return of a pulp character would benefit as a like 6-episode Netflix series where you do it right, and then that's how you get people interested again. You don't do like let's make it funny,
Like the Punisher showing up on the next season of Daredevil.
Well, I mean,
Like
it
that?
has. I mean, but pulp. Do it like
yeah, do like
Oh, the Punisher's not pulp?
no,
No.
no.
He beats you into a pulp.
Yeah,
He's like neo noir.
yeah.
Okay.
A great thing would
From
be
The
like
Matrix?
if in a perfect
Yeah.
world, they'd
Better
start making
spoons.
these like pulp in like Jake's world. Where it's like when I.
There's got to be some like production companies that somehow have the rights to like the Shadow and the
Mhm.
Phantom.
I feel like again, you do the Shadow. Start with the Shadow, even though and I like the Shadow a lot, not the movie, but like the character itself is fucking cool. And he's like the granddaddy of them all. Do the Shadow first, do that right. Do a miniseries, whatever, and then you can open the shared universe because they're all in the same era.
You could basically just do masks.
You lead to Masks again,
Yeah,
and
ultimately.
that's a series that like does well. Like they have a sequel. It's a huge hit for Dynamite. It's a fantastic, fun series, and you're introducing like all these great pulp characters. But again, And I'm not saying like you do the DC no jokes for Pulp because Pulp it's the 30s. You can have some fun with it, but you can't make them these goofballs because they are not goofballs.
Who is your ideal like? I guess with masks you want to keep to like what 4 or 5, so it'd be like Shadow, Zorro.
Well, the ones
Green
you
Hornet.
well, it'd be Zorro. I wouldn't do Zorro was weird because he's a legacy character and it's not Zorro. You know, the thing that would be is like you have kind of like in the first issue you have the Green Hornet and Kato meet the Shadow, so these two powerhouses meet, and Britt Reed's very much like. This guy's kind of crazy, like, because he's like, he always has the black dialogue bubbles and he's speaking in like, almost riddles and he's killing people and laughing hysterically while he's doing it. But then, you can have, the Spider. You can have, you can have, I don't know. I feel like the Green Hornet and the Shadow would be like, you have those two series, they build to that, and then you start bringing in like, I guess you could have the Legacy Zorro, you could have the Black Bat. You could have like Peter Cannon. You could have all these other people come in.
The Phantom.
Well, the Phantom too, but he's not a part of it. Like in Masks.
The Avenger.
Yeah. I've never been big. I've never really been big of the Avenger, but the Spirit would be a good one too. And like the honest to God Spirit, like I love Frank Miller, but like that movie did more damage than I can think for a character because again,
it got me interested in the character.
If it gets you interested, if it gets you interested. If it gets you interested...
Gabriel Mock.
Yeah, he did a great job.
Like I said, I would cast him again as the Spirit. Just keep him away from whatever.
Just don't give him the Weapon X treatment.
But the thing is, like, at the best, they can introduce you like, hey, I want to check out the Spirit. But, like, I don't know. I don't know what... Again, Frank Miller was like, hey, Sin City, let's make it look like Sin City and make him fucking Wolverine, I guess. But...
I feel like the visual style worked for it. Like, I think it did all right.
I don't think so, because
the real thing that killed it for me was the weird superpowers.
Well, the thing about the Spirit is he's always like fucking bright, fucking blue.
Yeah,
like you can have maybe the rest of the world be black and white, a la Sin City, but all they made color in the
was his tie.
They're like, look, he wears a red tie. It's like, yeah, he does. He also dresses entirely in blue. That's kind of his like signature thing.
True. Like what I'm saying, there was room for improvement, but I liked the idea of like kind of
that's probably how
desaturating it.
That's probably how they Lionsgate was like, oh, we'll give it to him because he did Sin City because he was co-director on Sin City.
And he wrote it.
Yeah, and they're like, make it look like Sin City, and he was like, okay. And he's like, the thing is, like Frank Miller was always like, I was friends with Will Eisner, and he would be like, this is how the Spirit should look on the big screen, and then it like came out, and it's like Will Eisner's probably like just like sitting in heaven or hell. I don't know. Maybe he did some dark shit. I don't know. Just like fuck.
Well, I mean, like the coolest thing that came out of the Spirit was
his hell.
They did it. Yeah, you were gonna watch
watching it.
The 3:00 matinee of the Spirit. And he's like, fuck. But they did like Frank Miller drew like promo pieces for it, and he drew it in like the Sin City style, and it looks really cool when it, like on paper. Like if it was a comic book in that style with Frank Miller, fine, because it looked really cool.
And apparently on the set, when people had would ask him questions like, how do you want this like staged, he would basically just like draw them like a storyboard, like on a little piece of paper on the spot, like position yourself like this.
Yeah, there's a book, I think it's like The Art of the Spirit or whatever, and there's like the Frank Miller art, and it looks really good. But yeah, I basically build, you can build this universe. Like everyone's about shared universes, but I think it would work for the pulp characters because you have the Rocketeer in the 30s, you have the Phantom in the 30s, you have the Shadow, the Green Hornet, and you don't have to have them all like meeting up like at a fucking mansion being like, hey, we're all buddies, woo, yeah, this is awesome. But like,
they don't have to be at Avengers Tower.
No. But I feel like, I don't know.
Just real quick for our listeners at home that don't know the origin or anything about the Avenger.
Oh God.
Could you talk?
I mean, the basic idea is like,
to be fair, I don't know anything about the Avenger.
The basic idea is that he it's fucked up, but like his family dies. I don't know like the specifics of the Avenger. So forgive me, but all I know is that his family dies, and basically his face.
The Avenger fan that we have listening.
Yeah,
is just like
Mark Wade. His face freezes.
I wish Mark Wade.
Right, his face fucking freezes, and he basically is like a walking corpse because his like reason for living is like gone. Right,
but he's like perpetually like.
Oh shit! Sorry, real quick. The movie you fucking do. And the fucking thing you started out with is Doc Savage. Doc Savage is like the shit. Like for real though, I'm not being like funny. Like Doc Savage is so fucking cool. Like I love the Chris Robinson like 8-issue miniseries they did with him. I think Doc Savage is awesome. Like bring him in that shit. Anyway, his face like freezes, and so like in the original comics, his face wouldn't move, and after a while they were like, "This is fucking dumb," and so his face moves. I'm not interested in the Avenger. I'm sorry. Like I tried and I read here and there.
And here's the thing: they originally he was perpetually like drained face, like it was white,
stuck.
And it was always like in a grimace, like kind of like Balak at the end of like the Star Trek original series opening or end credits, where it was always like ah, like, and
it's just his ghastly face you're supposed to have.
Yeah, so he's going around fighting crime, just perpetually like.
With his face stuck, and like I said, it like lasted like I don't know, a long time. People were just like,
sounds like a shittier version of the Punisher.
Yeah, well, I mean, because people don't fuck with him. I guess like he's like intense.
They retconned it though. Eventually,
because they said it was stupid.
Yeah,
they were like, hey, let's have his face move.
But not only could his face move, but they made it malleable.
Yeah.
So he became kind of like Clayface, not in that he could like turn his like hands into like buzzsaws, but like in that he could like mold his face into.
And I gave it a chance, but like the thing that I was like about the pulp stuff is like there's always something like I want to say cheesy, but there's always this kind of like wonderful little
cornball camp.
A bit of camp, and not in the camp. They're like, oh, you're talking about not being funny, but like this idea, like the Phantom wears his good ring on his left side because it's closer to his heart, or the cool little idea of like the Green Hornet. The Green Hornet fucking plays the bad guy. Like what he purposely infiltrates gangs to play the bad guy, and then he writes shit about himself in his magazine, in his newspaper that he runs. The Rocketeer is just a dude with a rocket pack. The idea of what's like every kid you ask them when they're younger what they want to do. They want to fly, and they give a guy, this Cliff Secord, the idea that he could fly. And so they make it, wish fulfillment with that stuff. And people are saying, oh, it's not that different from superheroes. I guess it's not, but something about being set in the 30s, this not carelessness, but this, I don't know, this
simpler time.
It's just it's simpler, and that's what it is. The pulp. I mean, Conan the Barbarian is a great pulp character. It doesn't necessarily mean time. Pulp is from the kind of paper they used or whatever. But
the cheap pulp novels.
Mm-hmm, yeah. But Conan's one of the all-time great pulp characters too. John Carter is a fantastic pulp character. John Cena is the greatest pulp character of all time.
But you can't see him.
It's true. He doesn't show up in the ink.
God.
But I don't know.
Hustle, loyalty, respect, pulp.
Tarzan.
Great Tarzan. Yeah. Same as John Carter,
Yeah, Edgar Rice Burroughs.
But I mean, it just, I don't know, it teleports you to a different time, different world, different place. You go again, there's like a formula to how to write pulp, stories, but they work, and it's just fun. I don't know, it's a nice difference to some of the insane, they want to be like complex and over the top and super violent and dark, and I don't know, something about the pulp stuff, it's
this weird mix between, superhero pulp is almost like got a noir quality to it.
Very much so. I mean, even the Phantom and elements of Conan.
Yeah, a lot of intrigue. It usually happens at night. There's usually a dame involved.
Again, like with the Shadow.
Yeah, I mean, again, he fits within the.
The Spirit too. I mean, they have like the Femme Fatales collection. Of
Sans Serif and all that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Ellen Dolan, but
the chick from Castle.
Morgan. She's Morgenstern in the movie. That's one of she's one of the highlights of that.
Flash Gordon played the Spirit in a made-for-TV movie.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Flash Gordon, great pulp character.
Flash Gordon's fantastic. Yeah.
But it could also be like the high adventure, like Tarzan, like Conan, like John Carter. There's just something. There's something nice about it. Yeah.
The Lone Ranger. The Lone Ranger for me is probably, in terms of like not the corniness, but like this kind of wonderful innocence to it, where like the dude uses silver bullets, like because he's this idea of that. Like life, silver is precious, life is precious. You can't waste it on just, firing off bullets left and right, being, this and that, he doesn't kill kind of thing. And the idea of, the eye holes on his mask are the 2 bullet holes that killed his brother, so he's always looking out the violence that, killed his brother. He's always seeing the world through that, and it gives him a different outlook on things. And Zorro too. But the thing is, Zorro has fun. Zorro is some of the most fun comic books you'll ever read. Like, if you've never read a Zorro comic, read the Matt Wagner stuff. It came out a couple years ago. I think through Dynamite.
Is Wagner he's doing the current volume of the Spirit, right?
He's doing the Spirit, yeah. I know like a lot of people unfortunately are like really jumping off that book as soon as as quick as possible. But like, and that's fine. But like the thing is, I hope it doesn't affect that we never get to see the outcome. Like I want to at least see the return of the Spirit. Because he's like not in the comic at all right now, like he's missing, which is fine. But like
that's the hook. They're like everyone's like, "Where's the Spirit?
Yeah, where's the Spirit? Where's the Spirit?" And like originally, I was like, "Oh God, like he's not anywhere." And they have little flashbacks here and there when he's
If you
there.
have a Spirit #1, you should probably put the Spirit in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But I mean, again, Wagner swears it's like this idea because most of the Spirit comics are like classic Will Eisner stuff's like 7 pages, and sometimes he's barely even in it.
Sometimes he's a supporting character in his own story.
Yeah, sometimes they literally bump into the Spirit in his own comic. But I mean, I'm looking at the Indiana Jones Laserdisc. That's straight out of the pulp stuff. Star Wars is straight out of the pulp stuff too. The whole idea of that. The Flash Gordon stuff, especially the Commander Cody stuff. I mean, the hell they name a guy Commander Cody in the prequels.
Yeah.
So.
Well. Yeah, maybe one day because I know Shane Black was trying to direct an adaptation of Doc Savage, but I think he abandoned it to work on the Predator reboot.
I'm cool with that for now, but I hope one day,
he wanted Hemsworth to be his Doc Savage.
The problem is with a lot of and I say this as nicely as possible, but with a lot of these kind of big, muscular kind of physiques, they go.
Beefcakes?
Yes. Beefcake. They go for the physique, but a lot of times they can't act to save their lives.
Though you watch Rush, and I think that proves.
No, I'm not saying that about Chris Hemsworth though. I'm saying that would have been one of the times where it would have worked because Chris Hemsworth's a great actor. Yeah. Like he has the physique and he can do Doc Savage, and Doc Savage has that charm that Chris Hemsworth just has.
Yeah. And I think we'll see some good stuff from Hemsworth. I mean, he's got that new Ron Howard film. Where he basically takes on Moby Dick.
Oh yeah. I remember I always people always ask me not always. It's like, hey Drake, But when I was reading the Aquaman stuff, they were like, who would you cast as all the different characters in Aquaman? And for me, it was like Chris Hemsworth as Aquaman. Like they had that shot of him in the heart of the sea, I think it's called, where he's on the boat with his hair slicked back and just in the ocean. I was like, dude, that's fucking Aquaman, dude. I mean, nothing against Jason Momoa. I'm excited to see him, but that was kind of like my dream casting.
I think what they're going for with Jason Momoa, they're like, because Hollywood doesn't think very creatively. They're like, Warrior King.
Yeah.
I think also the idea, part of the idea was like,
bullet to the head.
No one takes Aquaman seriously. How are we gonna make them think that he's not just a joke? I know. We'll make fucking Khal Drago. Fucking Aquaman.
Yeah.
Well, and the high praise last episode, Jake, you were giving him. Yeah.
What a physique. But
you must really be excited to see him now going to be practically shirtless the entire time as Aquaman.
I think he's going to be
wet, just like he's sweating the whole time.
You know what's funny about his Momoa? His
portrayal of Momoa is just
fantastic,
spot on.
It's fucking fantastic,
unrivaled.
He really gets inside Momoa's head.
Inside Momoa, the new podcast coming. Just me. It's an hour-long thing. It's just me talking about Conan. Just Conan, though. That's the only movie I'm talking about.
Not even his Aquaman or his Game of Thrones.
No. But I mean, I think Aquaman's. He actually, Josh was like, oh, without the shirt and stuff. But I feel like that's the one he's going to be most clothed out of the three. Because Conan, he's running around without a shirt on. Carl Drag, I can never pronounce his name. Runs around with a shirt on. The picture for Led to Believe from Aquaman, the only picture we've seen so far, he's got full on armor. But he's born in Hawaii. He's got he's lived by the water. He understands it. He's got the tattoos.
He lives by the water and he'll die by the water.
Yeah, he's got the tattoos on his body. Those are his actual tattoos. The shark teeth and everything. Respects the culture and everything. So I think they're going to give a little bit to it that'll be different. And you know what? You're right. What's one way to make people convinced that Aquaman isn't like a puss? You fucking make him Jason Momoa.
Have him read New 52.
Have him read New 52 Aquaman. That's still my favorite New 52 book.
Just the first 25 issues.
Yes.
I don't even think I made it that far.
I guess it's 3.5 trades, but
I think I got to the teens before. I don't think I
Did
lost
you read
interest.
the Throne of Atlantis stuff?
Yeah, like,
that's fantastic.
basically I read up to the Throne of Atlantis, and then I started branching off into different books. And not that I didn't want to read Aquaman anymore, it just kind of fell to the wayside.
Yeah, cuts were made. I did drop Aquaman after Jeff Johns stopped writing it.
That's also kind of a deal breaker.
Yeah.
Jeff Johns is so good.
It's
Like
a
Superman.
it's a tough sell, dude, to like read Superman after, or read anything after Jeff Johns leaves. But like, Sam and I were equating the Jeff Johns run, or here's the New 52 Superman run, broken down. You get a car, right? Like you get the pieces, the body, the tires, blah blah blah. I don't know a lot about cars, but I guess there's tires on cars, and a body,
there are pieces,
and a body, and a window or two, and a stick. There's a stick in there somewhere.
a shaft.
And so they give somebody the parts to make a car, right? And they can't figure it out for, I don't know, let's see, 40 issues or so. No, I mean, to be fair, let's say Superman Doom comes along and the first nut goes into place. He's like, oh shit. And they get the tire on and it spins. They're like, oh fucking shit. That's Superman Doomed, right? 2 tires get put on. They're like, fucking holy shit, dude. And like the Batman cars, like the fucking Batmobile and Scott Snyder and Greg Poole are like, fuck, you're just getting your car fixed?
They're doing laps.
We've had it done since day one, motherfucker. Here's we got a 5th car. It's called fucking 0 Year or whatever. And so they're like, oh shit.
Even
and then
Sean Murphy's helping us.
Yeah. And then fucking Jeff Johns comes in and he's like, all right, step aside. And also I'm bringing my friend John Romita Jr. And some people are like, yo, John Romita Jr., you suck. And then he's like, oh yeah? Boom, there's a tire in 5 seconds put on.
Like,
boom, there's a window put in the fucking...
It's like John Romita Jr., he designs like those like Asian race cars, whereas like everyone reading the comics wants like American muscle. It's like, well, but it's still getting the job done. Yeah. And it looks cool while, during the action sequence.
Exactly. So everyone's like giving him shit and he's like, motherfucker, I have 40 cars I've made over the past like 30, 40 years, whatever. Shut the fuck up.
And I have all these hand-me-downs from my dad.
Yeah. Have you seen any all the Spider-Man mobiles I've made?
Look at the Man Without Fear mobile I made. Look, fuck you.
Look at the Black Panther mobile.
Yeah, seriously, that's fucking awesome. Who is the Black Panther? That's fucking awesome. But for real though. And
but for real.
And
he drew a shitload of Punisher as well.
Yeah. And he did some Hercules covers that were fucking awesome. So anyway, he's like, look at all my shit in my fucking... Look, I have revolving like elevator doors full of cars just to show you, like a fucking garage.
He just hops in one of the cars and he's like, lick my balls.
Yeah. Oh, and then my dad? Yeah. He created cars, motherfucker. Basically.
They didn't even have cars back.
Yeah. And so anyway, Jeff Johns comes in and he's like, And they're like, dude, the car's due tomorrow. Like we've given you all this time. He's like, okay. And then he wheels out a fucking beautiful car, right?
It's like
shiny.
A Mercedes.
Well, what I think is he steps in and he basically makes what on the surface looks like the most minute change.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden everything works.
So here's what he does. He gets rid of all of the shit inside of the car. All the fancy, the subwoofers, and all like the bouncy shit and the car, the armor, and he gets rid of all that. And it just looks
like the perfect metaphor.
And it just looks like a beautiful fucking car, right? And everyone's like, wait, what's all this shit lying around? He's like, oh, stuff we didn't need in the car. That's what we didn't need. So now the car can work.
In fact, I believe that's a perfect analogy to like Blackest Night, where it just kills off all the chuffa.
Yeah, and so everyone's like waiting, like, oh shit, he's gonna turn the car on, and because everyone else is like, dude, we fucking like laps already, and he turns the car on. It's like, and it's just like awesome, right? And it's just like cruising, and for like 6-7 issues, you're like, dude, this is fucking awesome, man. And everyone else is like, dude, look at this car over here. This is like the best car on the lot. What the hell?
Yeah, well, this was here the whole time.
Yeah, like we saw it. It wasn't made properly, but look at this car. It's astounding. And then Jeff Johns is like, oh, shit. Okay, I'm going to drop the car off real quick because I have like a bunch of other cars that I have to deal with.
TV cars.
Like TV cars, movie cars. Yeah. I got a lot of like stunts.
Flash car.
I got to deal with other stuff.
Like Batman car.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the mechanic, John Romita Jr. here, right? He's going to keep it looking pretty, but I need someone else to work on it. So I'll be back and check on it later. He leaves.
Someone else to buy the parts.
He leaves. And what basically happens is the tires fall off, the doors fall off, and the car won't turn on anymore. And it's just rusted shut and crappy. And that's basically Superman run.
So basically Jeff Johns says, don't worry, car. I just gotta go get a pack of smokes, but I will be right back.
Yeah.
He's
Years
like,
later,
He's like, I got
hasn't come back.
Well, honestly, I
It's
don't
only
feel like
been a
it was.
couple months,
I don't
yeah.
feel like it was him that was like, I gotta go. They were like, hey Jeff, we saw you working on this car. We got a lot more cars you can work
Yeah.
on. He's
You
just
wanna
like,
write-
Don't worry, we'll take care of it while you're working.
and
on
he's
this.
still got the
Yeah.
Justice League mobile that's looking pretty fly, man.
Justice
He's like,
League is probably the best car / comic that DC's one of them.
and they're like,
their best roadster.
he's like, you know,
It's old
not
and
a-
reliable.
It's
yeah.
not a show car.
Yeah.
It's one that you cruise.
I don't know. There's some. I mean, they're fucking fighting. They're in the middle of a war between Darkseid and the Anti-Monitor right now.
it's pretty
You
sweet.
know, I'm just saying, like you actually take it out on the road.
Oh yeah,
It's not a show car.
So
that you
basically,
don't-
yeah,
Oh yeah. Don't touch.
he comes back to check on the car, and it's not running anymore.
He's like, fuck it. I'm gonna go write a Batman movie with Ben Affleck.
Yeah, and John Romita Jr. very soon is like, you know what, I'm gonna leave too. And what we hopefully get is somebody comes in, and again, maybe Max Landis. Maybe, I mean, again, I know it's not the New 52, like, you know, mainline, you know, the American
Yeah.
Alien stuff. Have you seen the pictures he's been posting?
Some of them.
Yeah, they look pretty cool.
Well, I'm looking forward to it.
Hopefully someone comes along and, like, I don't know.
What do you think of the early images of Dark Knight 3, the Master Race?
I haven't seen very many, to be honest. I've seen a couple covers here and there, but I haven't seen very much. I was talking to a guy about it today because he came into the shop and he's like, is anyone interested in this? And I kind of went on, again, all he asked was a yes or no question, and I went on like a 20-minute rant about like why Frank Miller's Batman is like the shit, including All-Star and Dark Knight Strikes Again, and why I think it's one continuous story, and it's the same Batman in all of it, you know? And he was like, either he was humoring me or he was like, I'm going to have to read that again. Thanks, man. See you later. And he probably got out. He's like, fucking nut job.
Yeah.
We're moving.
Never again.
Yeah, we're moving. No one wants to read this Dark Knight 3. Well,
Yeah.
we got, by the time this posts, Captain America White will be out.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
I can't wait.
After years.
Yes, 7 years. Fuck.
Wait,
Man.
has Master Race started yet?
Not yet. That's what, October?
November.
November.
Because I'm anticipating the new Frank Miller Batman.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'll read it.
I'll probably wait for it to trade, but you know.
Yeah.
That's when, I mean, I'm
Trade
ready
for Chrononauts just came out.
It did, yeah.
Yeah.
Even though I have all the issues individually, I kind of want to get the trade.
Yeah, I usually get both, which is kind of,
It
you
depends.
could argue is a waste.
What?
depends. The Lone
Sometimes I'll
Ranger-
go digital
The
too.
Lone Ranger Vindicated's coming out
What?
in trade this
What?
weekend.
Did they do a new cover for the trade for Chrononauts, or is it just? I feel like I saw
No, I don't think it's a new
Sean
cover.
Murphy repost post a picture of the cover, and it was just like the Lethal Weapon variant cover.
No, it wasn't that for the cover. I can't remember the exact cover. It's just one of the standard covers.
Probably just the first issue.
I think that's usually what it is.
Yeah, but no, I sometimes if I really like a comic book, I'll have it in single issue, I'll have it in trade, and I'll have it digitally.
Well,
Dude.
you get the single issues to get signed by the creators, the trade to read, or actually the trade to put up on your shelf to show off what books you have, and then the digital one to read.
I like to get the trade signed as well because it's like a proper book.
I usually do the trade. I mean, like
I mean, if I were going to do it, probably would be either the trade or my favorite individual issue.
Sure, yeah.
like I mean, I
Like
own
the
the
Back to the Future.
I own the Dark Knight Returns. I think like that's one of the few books I'll buy like every version. Like I have it like 4 times.
I'm like that with the Long Halloween.
Yeah.
Now, will you also get the motion comic and or the film version of the comic?
Well, I'm still waiting on a film version of the Long Halloween.
Oh, everyone is, Sam.
Yeah, and no, I probably don't need emotion unless it's like voiced by Kevin Conroy, in which case like I'll just like read it and masturbate. I mean, not like I wasn't going to do that before, but now I have an excuse. On that note, does anybody else have anything else to add?
Jason Momoa.
He's got a great physique.
He does.
Watch Lawn Wire?
Yeah, watch Narcos.
Play some Mario, man. Play some fucking Mario.
Read some
the
pulp.
League. New season
Yeah.
started
Yeah.
last week.
Halfway through season 6.
And yeah, Netflix has season 6 now.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I'm gonna miss that one. But you know, I'm sure we'll all see. I mean, Duplass is already doing stuff outside of the league, and
I love that guy.
of course Nick Kroll's got the Kroll show.
Is that still going on?
No, that ended.
Oh, that ended.
Oh.
Yeah, last year.
Oh, sorry,
Uh-huh.
Nick Kroll.
I'm sure he'll be fine.
Yeah, he's
He'll
doing
land
good.
on his
Yeah,
feet.
he's dating Amy Poehler.
Is he?
Yeah.
Is he? Oof.
Yes.
Dude, Amy
Celebrity
Poehler is
gossip.
like the. I love Amy Poehler. She's the perfect woman.
So does Nick Kroll.
I hope.
So, Yeah.
If he doesn't, Jake's here to pick up the pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. My sister will think I'm the coolest person in the world.
Yeah. Bond over Mario games.
Is she a big Mario fan?
No, it's just the 30th anniversary of Mario. I just wanted to kind of like throw that in.
I was gonna bond
bring
over
it back.
Jason Momoa's physique, but
Yeah, maybe.
Everyone can bond over that.
Sure.
I'm sure she's seen Jason Momoa's physique.
Oh yeah. But anyway, so yeah, it's been another installment of Catching Up. I'm Sam,
I'm Chris.
I'm Jake.
I'm Josh.
and we'll see you guys next week.
Thank you very much.
Good night, Eric Bana.
Are you kidding me? Dude, just go there, geek out, have a good time.